I'm here to talk to you about donors. No, not Donners, the deliciously disgusting late night drunken snack that leaves you waking up with a mouth that tastes like a rat has died in it. No, we're talking about donor cars. It's something that most car guys either have or want. It's one of those things, a parts car is an absolute must. But what if you need to do an engine conversion? Now, I'm going to go through my favourite options for engine conversions in a Mark II. Now, there may be a number of reasons why you want to do an engine conversion. It might be that you just want something a bit more reliable. Your car's approaching 30 years old and you're thinking, oh, do you know what? It's a bit ropey to start in the mornings. It might be a 1.3 or a 1.6 on a carb. Yes, I know they do 1.8 carbs before you put it in the comments. And you might think, you know what? I just want something a bit more modern and something that just goes a bit better, especially this time of year. We're coming up to the winter and you might think, I just want something that just starts on the button. So you might just want to do an engine conversion for reliability options. Now you might think, I want more power. Now if that's the case, there's plenty of options out there to suit all budgets. It could be that you've just taken your engine out of your car and thought, oh, well, I've gone this far, why don't I just put something a bit more powerful into it? So guys, whatever your reason for an engine conversion is, there is a number of suitable donor vehicles out there that will give you a lot of the parts to make your conversion nice and easy. And of course, if you buy a running and driving car in the first place, you know it works before you put it in your car. The last thing you want to do is get it all into your car and then find out that it's got a blown head gasket. So guys, here's my rundown of the top vehicles for an engine conversion. So to start with, we couldn't kick off without talking about a Mark III Golf GTI. Now there's all sorts of reasons these make sense, but have you seen the price of them lately? Now, a couple of years ago, we were picking them up for £300, £400, £500, pulling all the bits out, sticking them in a Mark II, and it was happy days. Now, you're looking at anywhere up to like £2,500 for a Mark III GTI. Now, I guess they've kind of gone the same way as all of the kind of old Fords and Peugeots. They just rotted out of existence. So it means the good ones, the ones that looked after, are now commanding a strong price. Now, the reason I like these cars for an engine conversion is because you've got the 2-litre AGG engine. If it was a 16 valve, you're lucky enough that it's got an ABF, which is a great swap in a Mark II Golf. But again, those engines are starting to go, just the engine alone without a gearbox, you're looking, there's one on Facebook Marketplace at the moment for £700. So long gone are the days that you can just get a Mark III and just dump it all into a Mark II for a couple of £100. Now, there may be some rotten ones out there that you might find. And of course, you've got that 2-litre AGG engine, you've got the gearbox, you've also got the fuel tank and lines, which are really, really important. I can't begin to imagine how many Mark III Golfs have donated their fuel tank, pump and lines to a Mark II project over the years. So again, they were good because they rotted away and they were really, really cheap. So the beams just bolt straight in, the subframe bolts straight in, and you're pretty much ready to go. Yeah, there's a bit of work to do with the brakes, but other than that, you're kind of good to go. But if you want to save money, the best option is a Mark III, Mark IV, Mark 3.5, whatever you want to call it, convertible. Now, you may have seen in a previous video, I actually bought one for £150. Now, there's plenty of them out there. They've usually got torn roofs, they're pretty rotten, they may have a short MOT so you can drive at home, but they are the perfect donor vehicle. It's got a 2-litre 8-valve engine, it's got 256mm vented front discs, the same as you'd get in a Mark II Golf 16-valve GTI. The subframe just bolts straight up, so literally you can unbolt it all and bolt it straight into your Mark II in an afternoon. So for a couple of £100, you're getting an engine upgrade, you're getting a brake upgrade, you're getting the fuel tank and lines that you don't need to spend out on. So guys, it makes a lot of sense. So you've got lots of bits to sell on as well. So you've got the front end, That'll go for about 100, 150 pounds. You've got the mirrors, again, they'll go for around 50 pounds because they're different to the Mark III mirrors, and with a little bit of a modification, you can fit them onto a Mark III Golf. You've got the switch gear inside, it illuminates in a different color. I think it lights up red, whereas the standard Mark III stuff lights up green. So again, for people wanting to freshen up the look of the inside of their Mark III. Again, you may get another sort of 40, 50 pounds for the switch gear with the cluster. So guys, there's a whole host of reasons why it makes a lot of sense to buy a Mark 3.5 convertible as a donor vehicle. So if you're doing all of this work because you want to have a fast car that makes a loud noise, then that is not the conversion for you. But that brings us on to the next ones. So you've got the big power conversions. So first and foremost, I couldn't talk about engine conversions and donor vehicles without looking at the 3.2 V6 engine. This came in the Mark IV R32 originally, and then it went on to a whole host of other vehicles. So people who put these in Mark IIs generally tend to call it an R32 Mark II. It isn't. Where's your four-wheel drive? Where's just everything else, guys? You've got a 3.2 V6. And truth be told, half of you, in fact, I dare to say 90% of you haven't got an engine from an R32. You've probably got it from a A3 3.2 V6 or an Audi TT 3.2 V6, which leads me on to our next donor vehicle. The Audi 3.2 TT is a great donor vehicle because you've got that 3.2 V6 engine, and that will go into your Mark II, but then you've got a whole host of other bits that you can sell on to recoup your costs. Now you've got this one here I found on eBay for about £2,500. It's a really good buy. It's MOT'd, you can drive it home, you can take it for a test drive so you know everything's good. You can sell the front bumpers on those for about £500 because they're different to a standard TT. You can also sell the wheels, get yourself another couple of £100 back on that, especially if the tyres are good. It might have an aftermarket exhaust, so if it's got a Miltech, again, you're talking another £300 maybe that you're going to get back on your conversion costs. So all of a sudden, that £2,500 car has come in owing you round about £1,500. You've still got loads of bits to sell as well. You've got the headlights, you've got the body panels, you've got the interior, even though the interiors don't fetch much. There is a market for those seats. It may only be £50, £60, but it's still another £50, £60 you're going to get back off your conversion costs. So it makes a great donor vehicle for that reason. So the Mark IV TT is probably the best option for the V6 engine conversion, because if you're fitting the engine out of an A3 or a later V6 TT, there's a few complications and they're a bit harder to get running. So plenty of people have done them. So it's not impossible, but the TT is definitely the easiest one to get running in your Mark II. Now, if you don't want to go the 3.2 route, then the other popular option is a 1.8T. Now, there are loads of these conversions done to Mark IIs over the years, so there's plenty of how-to guides on the internet. Mark II Golf Owners Club Forum has got loads of build threads on there around this exact car. So for me, you've got a couple of options donor-wise. So the most common and easily available is the Mark IV Golf GTI or the Seat Leon Cupra. So the Golf was 150 brake, the Leon was 180 brake. It's a 1.8T with a KO3S turbo setup. You can probably get that tuned quite easily to sort of 200 brake, maybe a little bit more. And I say it's good, reliable fun, but again, you've got to go through a 1.8T. They do require a bit of work. So you can pick one of those up for around £400 or £500 for the donor vehicle, and then pretty much you've got the engine. The rest of the parts aren't really worth a huge amount, so you're pretty much paying for the engine because there's not really a huge amount else you can use for your conversion. You're still going to need to buy the Mark III tank, the lines, drive shafts, all the bits and pieces. So it's one of those, if you want to start piecing the bits for your conversion together on a budget, this could be a good option. You'll get something for weighing the car in. You might be lucky. Might have a nice set of wheels on it you can sell for a couple £100. There's all sorts of little bits and bobs on there. If you get a Leon, the little climate control computers, they sell for about £30 as well. So it's a good budget option if you're really looking to piece the bits together for your conversion over time. Then, of course, you've got The Audi TT again, so the TT or the Audi S3 or the Leon Cupra R. So again, for me personally, the TT represents the best value there because you can pick up a 225 TT with a BAM engine in it for about £1,000 these days. So TTs have hit that sort of bottom point now, whereas I think in a few years' time, they're going to start going up in value. But if you're looking for a donor with kind of big power, then definitely a good one to go for. You're looking at 225 brake horsepower straight out of the box. Once you've obviously decatted it and a couple of other bits and bobs and a mild map on it, you could be looking at 240 brake horsepower quite easily. So yeah, really good option there. Plenty of bits to sell back on from your TT. So yeah, it's a good shout. But for me personally, my favourite 1.8T donor car is a Seat, actually. So it's definitely, for me, got to be the Seat Ibiza Cupra. Now you want the Mark III Seat Ibiza Cupra. Now these are great because you've got a 1.8T engine in there. They're 4x100. Most of the parts actually bolt up to a Mark II, which is great. So the subframe will go straight in. So you can drop the whole lot out and stick it straight in your Mark II. The rear beam won't fit because they're kind of a weird car. They're like Mark III Golf from the bolt head onwards, Polo at the back. But you can take the stub axles off and you can fit the brakes onto your standard Mark II rear beam. You can pick them up for about £1,500. Now, the good thing with this is you're probably looking at it having a set of wheels. You're looking at, it's probably got a front mount intercooler. It may have been modified up to 230 brake horsepower-ish. So if that's what you're looking for, then it kind of comes with a lot of the supporting mods. The ECU's already been remapped, so all you need to do is get it deimmobilized. So it's a great option. And then of course you've got lots of other bits on there as well. So the wheels are 4x100, so it might have a nice set of wheels that you want to keep. It might have a front mount intercooler. Now the front ends on these sell really well because they fit straight on a Mark II Caddy. So it's a really popular conversion and you're looking maybe £150 upwards for that front end, the lights, the bumper, the wings, the bonnet, because they all bolt on a Caddy. So you're going to get some good money back here. The front brakes are 280mm, so G60 brakes, dare I say. But you've got the 280mm brakes up front. You've got this stubby master cylinder, so again that all bolts straight up. So you've got a whole host of parts there that you can swap straight onto your Mark II. So my favourite donor vehicles for a Mark II engine conversion have got to be the Mark III or 3.5 convertible with plenty of bits that go straight in. If you want something that's just reliable, still fairly quick, it's a great option. The Mark I Audi TT 3.2 V6. For £2,500, you can buy a running and driving one with plenty of bits on there that you can help recoup some of your money. So for me, the biggest bang for your buck is the 1.8T conversion out of a Mark III Ibiza Cupra. You've got so many bits that just bolt straight up to your Mark II Golf, saving you an absolute fortune. So why does the Seat Ibiza Cupra make sense? You've got a 1.8T engine, a load of supporting mods that someone's probably already done. The subframe bolts straight in so you haven't got to mess about. You've got a big anti-roll bar on there as well. You've got 280mm front brakes. Again, that's going to save you a couple of £100 alone. You've got the stubby master cylinder that you need to fit a 1.8T in a Mark II. You've got rear disc brakes and you've got a load of parts you can sell on afterwards. So what about that does not make sense? So guys, I hope you found that useful. Have you done an engine conversion in your Mark II? Are you thinking about doing one? If so, drop a comment down below. Let us know what conversion you've done in your Mark II Golf. Is there a particular favourite that you've got that I haven't mentioned? So guys, let us know what you think. If you like this video, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one.